What's up, people, and welcome to another episode of Stars and Garters. Another episode, not episodes. I am Katie Pettit, and today we have another Marvel Monday for you. This episode is kinda interesting. So basically it's okay, so I'll just explain where the idea came from. So I mentioned one night at a certain event with some of my friends that I was going to go see the Marvels soon after that event, and we got into sort of a discussion about the movie Captain Marvel. And, most of the group was arguing for the side that that is a bad movie because it is feminist. So, I did not like that. So, after all those people went home, I got on my laptop and I wrote a doc that I have literally titled Manifesto Defending Captain Marvel. So, we're going to turn that into a podcast episode today because I think that I just don't think that it's a feminist movie. I'm going to tell you why. So what I'm not saying by this, I'm not saying that like there's no connection to feminism whatsoever in this movie. Obviously, some of the creators are probably feminists because like literally everyone in Hollywood, that thing with the big sign, Hollywood. There you go. Hollywood are probably feminists, like just almost everybody there. And like you could take so many things to be feminist. Like some people think that like any movies with competent female characters are feminist. Like it's a blurry line. But what I'm saying by this is that the movie Captain Marvel does not have blatant and unavoidable feminist messaging in it, which I think means that it's not a feminist movie, and Captain Marvel is not a feminist character. Like, feminists might use her to, like, make their points, or, like her or something, I don't know. You can make these connections, and it stinks that that's how the world works, and we have to worry about these movies meaning these things. But I just don't think you have to go there with this movie. I don't think you have to be super paranoid. Like, preface, if you still see feminism blatantly in this movie and like you are uncomfortable with that, then don't watch it, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think both sides can be very fairly defended here, and I don't think you should necessarily condemn someone as supporting feminism by watching this movie, because I think it's very defendable the reason why it's not. So, with all of that said, all of those prefaces given, please, don't, just don't let's not fight. I'm just giving my side. We're chill, okay? this is very chill. Okay. But I'm going to talk about obviously why I don't think it's feminist. And then I'm going to talk about why I like the movie, because even if some people don't think it's feminist, they just still don't like the movie. And I still do. So I'm going to talk about that. Just going to generally be defending the movie. Just like, because, I think it gets way more hate than it deserves. I think it was a solid movie. And I enjoyed watching it. And I rewatched it pretty recently. So, I'm not saying, I think I liked it the first time. I rewatched it. And I didn't find that many problems with it. Okay. So, yeah. So one thing I wanted to say, I think that us people, conservatives, Christians, that kind of group, were worried anyway, since this was I think it was one of, if not the first solo female superhero movie. I don't know if that's true, don't take my word on that, but I think we were just anxious that it would be feminist because that's just how things are, and that's very heavily, it's just very there in society. So I think we were very anxious, and I think what ended up happening was we kind of projected what we expected of this movie into the movie itself, even though Like we just projected a lot of feminism into it and kind of saw it in every single possible place it maybe could have been, even though it wasn't there. I think that was a big problem, and it's like just because we were expecting it, that doesn't make it true. So, like, another thing people will bring up, like, the protagonist is a woman and the antagonist is a man, and that could represent feminism. But, like, why is that feminist? Like, the thing. Like, why is that a feminist thing? Like, why isn't Avengers feminist? It has Black Widow, she's a woman, and Loki's a man. She's the good guy, he's the bad guy. Like, why is that not a feminist thing? I don't think, like, you know, just, it's not, it's, that's just not what that means necessarily. It's because she's a very overpowered female superhero does not make the movie inherently feminist. Because, there are like a ton of overpowered male superheroes, but like that's not misogynistic. If uh like who's the Hela versus Thor, like why was that not misogynistic if this is feminist? You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't really add up. I think people are just tilting it too much and just reading a lot too much into that. Like if you wanted to read the feminism into her having to fight this one guy and that being the whole thing, you totally could. But you could also do that with a lot of other movies. And it's just not there. I would rather just like appreciate the cool superhero ness of it because that messaging is not super in your face. Like I don't see it. Like maybe that flashback scene where she was like training for her army stuff or military stuff. I don't remember what it was. And like all the dudes laughed at her or something, which I don't know why, but like, cause just showing people being mean, it was just showing like her character growth, being able to get back up and stuff. It's just, again, like the scenes that people bring up is where she, as a female, is being antagonized by guys and she's able to beat them. But like, again, why is that feminist? Like it's just superheroes being able to beat their villains and their bad guys. And I think in this context, it does not matter that the hero was a woman and that the villain was a man. I don't think that was like, oh, that's feminist. I think that was just what it happened to be. Like that was just her villain, and he happened to be a dude. Yes, I think the directors probably were trying. They like I think they've said that the movie, like they wanted it to represent feminism. Just because they wanted that doesn't mean it has to represent that. Like they wanted the her. I've heard like they wanted the scene where she oh, what's the thing that takes the shape of the thing, the central intelligence or whatever. I can't remember what it was. The big thing that controlled the planet that she lived on. When she like beat that, it was like the patriarchy or something. But like, you don't have to read that into the movie. Like, you don't have to take their views into account. Like, because that would basically ruin the entire film industry if you took the beliefs of every single person that went into this movie into account. Because like somewhere along the line, someone is gonna be iffy in some way. So, and it would be very nice if it wasn't that way, but it is. And I think that me personally, it's just like the movie is still like I can still enjoy the story and the superhero movie part of the movie, and I can still enjoy that, and I think that part is good. So I'm not going to read this into all those scenes where it's her against a guy and she wins into feminism, because that's in a ton of other movies. I think again that we were super worried and then we thought, oh, there it is, feminism, but it wasn't that way. I don't think it just doesn't have to be. and I am going to enjoy superhero-ness, and she's like kind of a cool character, you know? Like, also, there were good male characters in this as well. Like, it wasn't showing all men as stupid and the women are always better than the men at things, you know? Like, Talos and Nick Fury are there and they have very prominent roles and they do things and they help out and they're a part of the story and they're not made to look stupid or inferior. They have different skills and they do different things and they're not necessarily one is better at everything and the other is not good at everything. It's just like she's a superhero, Nick Fury's a secret agent, Talos is a dude who's an alien. He does stuff as well. He's also there. Good for you, buddy. Um, and you know they all do stuff and it's all good and everyone's working and all the good guys are good. And the women are not made to be like these are the women and they're great and they're also these men. I feel like it's it's a team up kind of thing. Even though she's the main character, she's like being supported by these dudes and it's cool, and it's just a superhero thing and it's she's got her team and they're her team. And it's like I just don't see it. I don't see it. And also there was a bad woman. There was a woman on the bad side. It's just not it wasn't like all the good guys are women, all the bad guys are men. It was pretty even. I mean, like most of the bad guys were men. But again, most of those men were like the very minor bad guys, and they're just kind of there to beef up the big bad, who was a dude. But like, there's so many movies where the bad guy is a dude and the good guy is a woman. Like, why is that a thing? I don't understand why that translates to feminism immediately. The only explanation I'm coming up with is what I said before. We were expecting it, and so we projected it into the movie, even though it wasn't really there. So yeah, basically, that's what I have on my manifesto. Is in much more casual words. I sounded very I don't know. I was like I used big words there, and I was trying to sound a lot more casual in this because I don't know. I was feeling very like, well, haha, take this, and I was trying to sound all smart, but I'm just trying to be casual here because like it's a casual thing. It's if you choose not to watch it, that's good for you. Your discernment. It's cool, but I am just showing how I think my side of things works. I'm just saying I don't think it's blatantly feminism, and anyone who watches is a feminist and is supporting the feminismness of the thing. So I'm like trying to tread lightly here, and I don't know how well I'm doing. Aside from that, about the feminism and all that fun stuff, I would also like to defend it just as a movie, because like I don't understand. I, it's not my favorite Marvel movie. It's not one of my favorite Marvel movies by any means. There are better Marvel movies, in my opinion, and in most other people's opinions, it's not anywhere up there. But I still think it was a very fun watch. And like I think probably the most appealing thing about this is I think Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson have some good on-screen chemistry there. The Nick Fury and Captain Marvel scenes where they have a scene together and they get to do things as partners is really fun. They just play off each other really well. I feel like it's usually pretty funny, and they're both really cool characters, and they work well together. And their personalities are also very interesting to like clash, as she's very assertive, but he's also he's very stubborn, and I don't know, there's a word for it. It's just funny to see them play off each other. Um, and yeah, the I think the story is really nice because it is Captain Marvel's story and they do her whole thing really well. Like it comes around, it's like well rounded and all that stuff. Just her being able to like reclaim that life on Earth that was stolen by the Kree. Like she gets back and she connects with her friends. She gets to defend the people and she gets to beat the guy who took it from her. And she gets to like find out all this stuff about her life. She comes back and she's able to restart her life basically. I think it's very well done and it's really cool. It's I don't know if it's that different from the comics. I'm not too familiar with her as a comic character. I know her as a character is very different from the comics. She's a lot more fun in the comics. In the movie she's very stoic and no nonsense, which I still like that even though it's a very different character. Her character starts to look more similar to her character in the comics in the Marvels because I think she's getting that memory back. But I still like Stoics. That's a fun character to me, and I think those guys they're fun. So I was still cool with that as a character, and she plays it really well. She's pretty, you know, stoic. I like that, and I think it's pretty funny, and it's a very cool character. It makes you seem cool. Um, the I really enjoyed Carol and Maria and Monica as just that trio was really nice and just it was sweet and they were so cute, sweet and all that. Um, and Monica is like now they're reconnecting in the Marvels and everything's like coming back together and it's all very interesting and stuff. But just her and Maria had a really good relationship and it was very nice because that was like her one connection and they had all this fun stuff and they were able to regain that because they had just it was just like a solid friendship. There's nothing crazy. Like Maria is totally normal person and Captain Marvel's like super OP, but they're still like just very genuine friends, and it's really nice. It's a cool relationship. Um, they just they're just really good friends, and then Monica is really cute and fun, and she's there just being that little plucky kid sidekick that is just there for just like okay, she's here. She's just like a morale booster, I guess. And she, in this movie, she made her costume, which that's one way you could go with that. I mean, it's not terrible. It's interesting for sure. Um, but she's there. That's cute, and their whole thing is really nice and just it's fun. It's cool. And then they made the very interesting choice of the Skrulls not being the bad guy, which is not what you usually see. Like the comics, Skrulls are bad. Like they come in, they shapeshift, they ruin everything, and they start wars, secret wars. Um, sorry. um, so that was very interesting. The Kree are bad and the Skrulls are good. Like as a comics fan, I didn't see that coming at all because Skrulls bad. They're gonna play this. Skrulls are gonna it all made sense. And then like I guess Skrulls are good apparently. And of course now we're seeing not all of them are good with like Secret Invasion, all that. There's bad Skrulls, there's good Skrulls. It's more complex. Probably like I think most Skrulls are just bad in the comics, as far as my knowledge is. They're just kind of bad guys usually. So definitely that twist it worked. It was a twist. It ended up being a twist because just that's not who Skrulls are usually, and they made them very sympathetic characters, just like trying to find a home planet and all that, and it was nice. And he has his cute little family, Tylos, and he's a fun character as well. And it's cool that they're good, because shapeshifting is cool, and now they have a cool shapeshifter whole thing, race, I don't know. that is partially allied with them and trying to help them. So that could be cool. It probably will be cool. I mean, it might be cool. We'll see. We'll see how they play this. The shapeshifter thing is probably going to be complicated to get right when they do Secret Wars. But I believe in them. They can make good things sometimes. So, yeah. Overall, it's still enjoyable. It's not, the most. Like, the character isn't one I like. I like Captain Marvel as a character. She's not like one of my favorites, and it doesn't have any particular moments that are like, oh yeah, yes, superhero moment, awesome. It has classic cool fight scenes, superhero unlocking their power, getting all OP and kicking the bad guys' butts, all that good stuff. Just not anything particularly stunning, Again, not one of my favorites. I just don't think it's a bad movie by any means. I don't think it's a mid movie. I think it's a pretty good movie. Like I feel like I said that about the Marvels. It's like I think this is like a good bit better than the Marvels. Like the Marvels was pretty good. This one, it is a definitely solid movie. Like I feel like I would rewatch it a lot more than I would rewatch the Marvels, even though I am going to rewatch the Marvels because I did like that one as well. But like, one thing those two movies both have in common, and I think is another reason why people might not have liked them as much, is because it's a lot about the characters in that movie, and you have to be into the characters, and I think the Marvels suffered a lot more so than that, because a lot of people were not into those three characters that were at the center of this whole thing, and they were just not that invested, and they didn't care enough. So, and I think people just didn't really want to see, who is this Captain Marvel? Like, what? Just some OP lady that shoots fire, whatever. Sounds like Marvel. I guess she'll show up later, whatever. And, but I basically want to watch like all the Marvel stuff because it's cool and superheroes and all that good stuff. And I did, and I would watch it again. And I like it's a fun movie. It's very enjoyable for me. I like, there's no scenes I can think of that are like, ew, that's lame or that's boring or whatever. I will say, maybe when she was having one of those last big fight scenes, and they played No Doubt's Just a Girl, that was a little bit on the nose. I feel like that could help the people who said it's feminist. Like, I think maybe that was not a wise choice of song to play in that scene. Other than that, it's still a decent movie, in my opinion. I would watch it most days. I would be happy if we're watching Captain Marvel. I'd be like, cool. It's a solid watch. I'm not mad about this at all. Would I rather watch something else? Like, are there other Marvel movies that I've ever watched? Yes. There's better Marvel movies in my opinion, but I think that there's just way too much hate on this movie. I think it's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fun and cool superhero thing that I think just has too much negativity surrounding it. Alright? But yeah. There you go. That's my spiel. I think that's gonna be it. I know this is a shorter one than I've been doing lately, at least. But yeah, just giving my 2 cents here. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you for listening to Stars and Garters. Make sure to listen to other episodes. Listen to as many as you can. I'm so entertaining, you guys, and just all the topics, no matter how much or how much or how little you care about a topic. Just listen to me talk because you like the sound of my voice. Obviously, it's so lovely and pleasant. Go ahead and follow. I'm on YouTube Music now, so if some of my episodes, I'm currently getting my podcast on YouTube Music. Some of it is already available there, and hopefully, I don't want to say soon, but hopefully, eventually, it will all be ready. So if there was somebody who like maybe couldn't because you don't have Spotify or whatever it was, I'm on there now. So that's cool. And if you can figure out how to subscribe on YouTube Music, then do it. Because I don't know how you do that on YouTube Music. But whatever. Leave comment about your thoughts on Captain Marvel. Did you think it was feminist? Why? Explain. Give words. Like, just don't say like, yes, movie. Like, tell me, like, maybe give your rating for it. And just those kind of things. And don't I say something else? I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to say here, but I can't think of anything. So yeah, thank you for watching, listening, whatever, and I will see you